following stories are inspired by documented paranormal encounters. Some locations and identities may have been changed to protect the people involved. These stories may be disturbing for younger audiences, and listener discretion is advised. This podcast is based on true events.
Hi, I'm Dalia, she, they.
Hi, I'm Brandon, he, him.
Hey, I'm B, she, they.
And this podcast is based on true events.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Belated, I guess.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Also, this is like the third time we've tried restarting this. We've been having some audio recording issues. So hopefully this is the one that does it. I'm speaking it into existence.
Yes, manifestation works.
Yes. But yeah, hope everyone has had a good Valentine's Day. Or
if you celebrate.
if you celebrate, or if you extend that to the whole weekend, having a good Valentine's weekend.
Even just like a Galentine's Day. I used to love Galentine's Days.
Is that like
it's
gal
just the friends hanging out for
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day because of the pink and red aesthetic and the hearts and all the stuffed animals that come out in the stores.
Yeah.
I love me some Valentine's Day.
Right.
It's a good day to date yourself, too.
It is.
Yourself
For
out.
sure.
Treat yourself.
Have
Yep.
a Palentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good shit. Vibe checks. How are you? Either one of you. I
I'll
looked
go
at you
first.
and went to
I
you.
am a little on edge. For obvious reasons, audio reasons. It's like my pop socket just came off and my phone just fell.
Yeah.
So that's what that was.
We're having a time.
We're having a day for sure.
TM.
TM.
A day,
Trademark. Yes.
But
It's only like we're having a last final couple episodes.
for
stuff.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
We've never had this much audio like recording issues, so I'm a little miffed at that. I don't know what's going on, but I am on edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll just keep our eye on it. It should be good.
Yeah. If we get to a certain point, we'll just see what we said last and like keep going from there.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will still come out a full episode for you guys. It just may be a little bit more work on our part,
Yeah.
but we'll figure it out as we go along.
By our part, he means his part, because
Yes.
I am the
Brandon's the
editor,
only one
yeah.
that puts any effort into putting the show together after
Yep.
we're done recording.
He's the social media manager.
Yep,
He's the
that's
editor.
all him.
He works
Yeah.
his booty off.
Our job is to sit and look pretty.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
We
and tell
do a great
stories
job.
and
Yeah.
tell stories.
Yeah, and tell stories. So, how are you?
My back is really starting to bug me, but
Oh.
otherwise I'm okay.
Let me know if
Okay.
you need medicine. We have plenty because I just had my surgery.
Yeah.
So, I am doing good. I'm a little hot.
Yeah, you
You're
are.
always hot, honey. Also,
they
my
go
pinky
again.
hurts.
Oh.
What'd you say?
My pinky hurts. My pinky knuckle, I don't know why, but it hurts.
Oh, you
Oh,
got the
is that
pinky. You want me to kiss it?
Maybe later.
Okay.
You know?
Anyway, so like I'm temperature wise feeling a little warm because I can't say that I'm hot around these people. And then
We say it plenty for you.
and
We,
other than that,
our
I'm
wife,
good.
comrade.
This is the last. Good God.
This is the last episode of our recording session.
Okay,
Is that what you're saying?
as I was saying. So
And it's late at night.
I am
so-
ready to go. Well, I think we should just like go right the fuck into it.
Yeah, I still got to edit tomorrow's episode tonight, so let's do it. I have a tale for you guys. I think you guys are going to like. It's a little bit different than what we usually do. We have not covered this show yet, and I think it's going to spark a little bit of conversation into how like kind of the supernatural works for some people when it comes to belief. You know what
I'm
I mean?
excited.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, by the way, Dalia, I didn't realize that it was it would be a Valentine's Day episode, a good one, until like 2 days ago. Dalia was like, "Hey, this episode comes out the day after Valentine's Day. Should we do that?" And this is the only one I could think of. None of the rest were like good. This one's not really either. However, I will say,
Close enough.
so this is the best one I could get
Close enough.
I could arrange for a Valentine's Day episode because I already had all my stories. So, this is gonna be a fun one. I don't know if okay. I'm sorry. I'll just get into it.
Yeah.
So, from the show Amish Haunting,
Oh, hell
yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
I bring you the tale A Good Man.
He's a good man's fan.
So you're in there? You're in this story?
Oh, thank you.
A good man.
You're a good man.
In Lancaster, Pennsylvania, most of the older Amish spend their days as farmers tending to their field. Matthew and Katie Esch were just like the others in their community, in all ways except for one, that is. They both hid a dark secret that they believed could damn them to hell for eternity. You see, Matthew had a problem. He just couldn't seem to keep himself out of trouble. Matthew yearned for more money than what a simple Amish living could give him, and I can't fault him for that for sure, on my side. So, every night, an English taxi driver that Matthew had met would come and pick him up for a night of gambling over cards. And while Katie tried to convince him to stop on numerous occasions, Matthew just couldn't seem to help himself. You see, gambling is strictly against Amish church doctrine, as it's viewed as, quote, wasting God's resources, and goes against their beliefs of work ethic, and self-control. And what's worse, Matthew has been gambling with borrowed money from his Amish community. Money that he claimed was used to buy farming supplies. And one night, Matthew lost every cent of it. If the bishop were to find out about this, Matthew would be shunned by his community, which means that he would be completely outcasted and excommunicated from the community and his family. He would essentially lose everything. Despite this, Matthew goes out the next night, ignoring Katie's pleas to stay home, determined to win back all the money he had borrowed. This night, Matthew would gamble away more money than he would ever be able to pay back. And the following Sunday, a group of men from the church informed the bishop exactly what he had been doing. He had been found out, and it caused them to be shunned from the community. Before we go any further, I don't think I need to explain the Amish to people, do I? If you don't know, there is a religious group of people that are Amish, and they, like, if you're in another country, and they live by, like, they live without electricity, and they live without a lot of, quote, earthly pleasures, as part of their religious doctrine. So they tend fields, and they do all this, and as you can see, there's a lot of things that a lot of religions claim fine that they are just strictly not allowed to do without facing punishments like this.
Yeah, even certain haircuts are considered
Yes.
earthly, and their clothes are all handmade. Anything other than that is considered earthly, and it's against their doctrine.
But yeah, so I just wanted to start there. So yeah, causing him to be shunned from the community. The couple were horrified, especially since what the church didn't know is that Matthew was sick. He had started growing so sick that he had started growing lesions on his arm, which suggested to Katie that it could be cancer. Despite this, Matthew refused to see an English doctor no matter how much Katie begged him to. Old order, it's not old older, it's old order, I misspoke last time. Old order Amish faith does not allow them to use modern medicine, so that's another thing. Even more frightening to the couple, according to their faith, if Matthew were to die while shunned, then he would not receive a holy burial and his soul would be forever damned to hell.
Old order is the strictest.
As Matthew's cancer worsened, he still refused to see an English doctor, believing that this was his punishment by God for breaking church law. Matthew starts having trouble sleeping and starts having night terrors of sitting at the gambling table across from a man with bone-white skin. Large horns curl upwards from the man's bald head, black circling his piercing eyes and mouth filled with jagged teeth. The man stands from his seat at the table and slowly makes his way to Matthew. As he stands next to him, the horned man bends down and presses his mouth to Matthew's. This is usually when he wakes up. Desperate to try and save Matthew's soul, the couple decides that the only thing left to do was to find a new community that would accept Matthew and try to hide his past. The couple packed up what they could, only taking their clothes, wedding quilts, and the Bible. They find a new community in Ohio who welcome them with open arms. In just a few weeks' time, Matthew's condition worsens. His last words to his wife were, "Thank you," which Katie says was his way of telling her that he loved her. Matthew was buried dressed in all white and put in a simple pine box, as was Amish tradition for those in good standing with their community. While it seems they have successfully deceived their new community in order to save Matthew's soul, Katie can't help but fear that they suspect her of something. She tries to convince herself that what they did was excusable, but something inside her feels like her husband's soul may not have been saved after all. That night, Katie has a nightmare about being at her husband's funeral. In the nightmare, Matthew sits up in his coffin, happily exclaiming to his wife that he was all better now, only for a man dressed in all black to grab him from behind. The man's face was bone white, and 2 large horns curled up from his bald head. Katie watches helplessly as the man drags her husband from the room. Katie wakes up in bed, sitting up as she sees the form of a bearded man sitting in the rocking chair in her room. This man looks like any other in the Amish community, but soon Katie sees that his face is rotting away. The man points out the window, and in a raspy, angry voice, she hears him speak, "Get him out!" Katie jolts up in bed, awake for real this time. She looks over towards the rocking chair the man had been in, only to see it empty. Just a dream, she tells herself. But she has her doubts as she notices that the rocking chair is slowly rocking itself to a stop, almost as if someone had just been in it. At the same time, across their Ohio town, Ruth Stoltzfus, a friend of Katie's, is woken up out of sleep by a banging noise. Ruth checks to see if the noise came from her children's room, but they were fast asleep. She would soon realize, though, that the front door to her house stood wide open. She would later describe walking out to see a demon standing outside in the form of her dead husband. Ruth can't believe her eyes. She senses the presence of danger, but can't seem to turn away. The vision of her husband beckons her to follow him, and she is powerless to do anything but. After leading her for a bit, Ruth says that her husband, or whatever this thing was, stopped on the spot and leaned in close to her face. His breath smelled like sulfur and burning hair, and his eyes were tinted in blood. "Get him out," the figure said. "He is unholy." Ruth loses sight of the figure for a moment as she averts her eyes. She said that at this moment she knew that following this demon was a sin. When she looks back, the figure is gone, but then Ruth spots what appears to be a man standing over a grave in the distance. Approaching the man, Ruth recognized him as John Zuck, a prominent member of the community. Apparently, John claimed that he had also been led to the cemetery by his dead wife. Together, they looked down at the grave they had been led to. The word unholy covers the headstone of Matthew Esch in what appears to be fresh blood. Katie throws herself into work at the local bakery in order to try and rebuild her life and get her mind off of her guilt and everything else that had been happening. Then one day, her friend Lavinia paid her a visit. Apparently, Lavinia was Ruth's neighbor, and so the story got to her about how Ruth came to find that Matthew's grave was disturbed. Katie was unsurprisingly distraught, from her point of view. And all she could say through her tears was, "Matthew was a good man." As Katie continued to hide the secret about her husband, she too would start to see people at night. Every night, Katie would wake up to see people walking around her room. They would order her to, quote, "Get him out of the grave," and say things like, "He is unholy," and "Do you know what you have done?" Sometimes they would stand by her bed and stare down at her as they yelled at her in garbled voices until Katie just couldn't stand it anymore. While she acknowledges that confessing to living a life of deceit will likely result in severe punishment, she can no longer keep living this lie. She told the bishop everything. And for Katie's deception, the bishop shuns her and orders Matthew's body to be exhumed and reburied outside of the cemetery gates. Katie claims that, while the rest of the community has stopped seeing visions of the dead, she has not been so lucky and remains haunted by the spirit of her dead husband, always repeating the same thing. "I am a good man."
God damn.
Really makes you think.
Yeah.
It does, and it goes back to this whole thing where, I fully believe that, as in, priests exorcising, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exorcism and things like that. Belief influences the paranormal so much more than, actual religion does.
Yeah.
Because this is stuff specific to them. And like, if this had happened any other point, no one would be haunted like this. You know what I mean? And also, something I've noticed, because I watched a couple episodes, so we have another one in the future coming. But I've noticed that when they see things that we would claim as a ghost, like their dead spouses, right? They immediately assume it's a demon because if I remember correctly, they don't believe that can happen. So it has to be a demon. But I argue, if it is a demon, why are they trying to help out the sinner?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or help out like the good people, like who aren't the sinner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would be the point of that? So I just think it's ghosts, and they're angry about like this thing that has happened in their community that goes against what they feel like they're continuing their beliefs in the afterlife.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
What are your guys' take from this? Because like, I feel like it's really interesting. It does make you think, but think about what?
I
Power
think
and
it.
belief. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, power and belief, but you go ahead. That's all I had to say, really.
I think that it just really hammers in what Brandon's been saying about how powerful your belief can be and how it can impact you, and why Catholics work so well at this.
Yep.
It's just another version. And
Right.
It's interesting to see from that viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder, like, in media, demons are so prominent, at least in the United States. I don't know about everywhere else in the world. But prominent religion here is Christianity or Catholicism,
Right.
where demons are, correct me if I'm wrong, they are in the Bible. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
So
They're very prevalent.
So now it's in media, and people, these real things happen to people that we hear about,
Mm-hmm.
and all this belief I feel like it's proof.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it really is proof, especially because the more you, gosh, what's the word? Put it into the media, put it into existence in your mind, the more likely it is to exist, at least to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I talked in circles, but words are hard.
No, I get it. There's also something to be said about like the power of suggestion, the power and manifesting that on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that like they're afraid of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sure, there could be spirits at work here, but how much of like her nightmares or even his nightmares, first of all, he's dying of like what they think is cancer, right? So how much of his nightmares is his guilt manifesting into the dream world? Because that does happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells her about what he's been seeing, and then he dies, and now she is guilt ridden for what she's doing, and so she's having these same dreams about this same person that he was describing, and it's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy almost, you know what I mean?
But now then there's other people being affected by it, but they do
Yeah.
have the same beliefs.
True, and I think it could be multiple things going on. The dreams of like the bone white man could be like a power of suggestion type thing, or like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Whereas I do think there's something spiritual going on here. There's something like paranormal happening here. I don't think it's all just like, you know, their guilt, because you're right. Other people were seeing things and were affected by this. I think rather than demons, it was the angry spirits of these Amish people who passed away, and they know, and they're like, no, that's wrong. That's against what we do. Get that out. You know what I mean?
That's a very big possibility. I didn't even think about that.
No, that's
Yeah.
how I read it. Yeah.
Yeah, no. For me, it was more like their guilt manifested the negativity, the energy, so it became real,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe is also plausible. But the idea of these spirits from past generations of this community basically punishing him for his what they consider wrongdoings,
Right,
is
and they-
very realistic.
Like they become the religious punishers or whatever, and
Yeah.
maybe that's why they call them demons. But I really do think it just has something to do with the fact they don't believe that actual spirits are allowed to come back. You know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But any other thoughts on that one? I thought it was a really interesting one for sure.
No.
the show Amish Haunting, which I do want to point out, we covered the show A Haunting a lot. It's the same narrator. It's the same company who does that. But it only has like 8 episodes. I will cover them like sparingly like throughout. I will like put them in every once in a while because this will be cool to revisit and be like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense, or like why did this happen, that kind of thing, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah.
You got pictures for us?
I do have pictures for you. This first one, so first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to see if I didn't know if I'd be able to, and I wasn't. I looked in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where their first Amish like community was. Couldn't find that, obviously, but I did find this place called the Amish Village, and it is a heritage museum that offers guided tours through like an 1840s style Amish homestead, barn, and schoolhouse. So there's a picture of that for you.
Cool. That's neat.
This next one is how Matthew's grave was depicted when those two people found it and it had unholy across it. So that's how this was depicted.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
And then finally, I have the picture of what they described, or how they depicted the bone white man with the horns looking.
Ugh. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, whoop, jump scare.
That's worse than I imagined.
Mm-hmm.
I imagined a literal, just random bald man. I'm thinking like, what's his name? Steve Wilkos?
Yeah.
With horns and like whiter skin.
Yeah, so this is how they depicted that that demon they saw.
That's scary.
Yeah. But yeah, that's mine for today.
All right.
Hope y'all enjoyed it.
Mine.
It was a little bit different, like, you know.
I like it a lot. Yeah, it was a good one. So,
but I feel like it. I'm sorry. I feel like it fit in with
fine.
the Valentine's Day thing because of how much like Katie obviously loves her husband and like is willing to do this for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
You did not get into your afterlife that you wanted. Anyway.
Whoops. Sorry. That's mean. But yeah.
Okay. So I have one. Allegedly true encounter this time. I do want to begin this by giving a trigger warning for miscarriage.
Okay.
Okay. We're just gonna dive right in, pals, okay?
Sure.
Alright. So, this OP titled this story A Day in Nursing, but for the podcast, I've renamed it Room Number 13. This was posted by a user named Hema, that's Haema.
Okay.
It was posted on December 16th of 2013. The country of origin is Malaysia, and the paranormal category is haunted places. So, a thrilling story for those who believe in the existence of the other life or being. My whole family were very excited about the trip to Kluang, Johor. The journey took us longer than expected as we had children with us and we needed to stop along the way as the kids needed to use the toilet often and we had to break along the way for snacks, lunch, etc. It was almost late at night when we reached Mersing. All of us were very, very tired and we needed some rest. Well, we took things for granted for not booking hotel rooms earlier because it was almost the end of the school holidays. Therefore, we thought we would be able to get rooms to stay. How unfortunate for us, we were driving around for almost an hour to all the hotels in and out of town, but none were available. Then we finally reached and this, I don't know if it's pronounced Chalet or Chalet. Are we aware?
How do you spell it?
Chalet. I received both pronunciations when I tried to Google it.
There's a Black Bear song. Hold on.
What?
There's a Black Bear song. I'm trying to think of how he says that word in his song. No, never mind. I'm thinking of Chateau. Never mind.
Right, yeah.
Never mind.
Anyway, sorry about that. So I'm just going to go with Chalet because it rhymes with valet and it sounds fancy. And Chalet's spelled differently, I believe. So, and it says so-called in parentheses. So this wasn't really a chalet. This was something else.
It is Chalet, it looks like.
Is it? I received both translations. I tried to get it on YouTube. But
I see.
anyway, the men managed to get 2 rooms. One room for the men, and the other room for the women and children. The men gave the ladies the choice to choose the rooms. We were a group of 4 ladies, 3 children, and 3 men. My sister-in-law and I entered the first room. Standing outside the room itself gave us both an uneasy feeling. We both inspected the room and felt a very eerie feeling out of nowhere. Then we walked out of the room and gazed at the number engraved on the door. We saw the number. Guess what number it was?
13.
Number 13. We looked at each other, but did not say anything. As we were walking out of the room, I saw an old lady who might be in her 60s or 70s standing nearby the room and shaking her head from left to right as though she had something to say, but trying to indicate it in her own gestures. Then we took a look at the next room, and although the room was really run down, it looked okay, I guess, and we decided to take that room as the kids were all falling asleep one by one. I told my husband that we would take the second room, and the men said that they will be playing poker to kill time and will get a better place to stay the next day to catch up with their sleep. I whispered into my husband's ear not to sleep in room number 13. He asked me why, but I evaded the question and strictly told him not to do so, and I would tell him the reason the next day. It was almost 2 a.m. We washed up and changed, and finally we went to bed. Around 3 in the morning, I suddenly woke up from half asleep as I heard a knock on the door. Then I listened again, and then about 2 or 3 minutes later, I heard the knock on the door again. This time, 3 knocks continuously, and even louder than before. It was really scary. My mom-in-law woke up and said that she had heard the knocks as well. I took a peep from the closed window by moving the curtain a little and saw nothing and no one. I thought the men were trying to play a prank on us. Then I settled down to sleep again. Mom-in-law was too tired to pay attention to what was happening around her. Another 3 knocks were heard. This time, the knocks were even more loud. My mom-in-law did not wake up this time. And then I smelled a light incense smell in the room. I was so frightened. I peeped outside again, and the guys were not to be seen anywhere. Maybe they went to have a meal nearby. I held my pillow closer to me, trying not to wake anyone up. Then a little later, I saw a black figure flying around the room with its hands folded, so nonchalant. Then later, I saw this. You see, I am gifted with the third eye, just like my mom and grandma. I can see the other being living in the other world and have encountered similar events. It held something in its hands, and I realized it was a small baby kind of figure. Then it turned and looked at me. Its eyes were all white without the black pupil. I was unable to scream or speak. It kept on looking at me with somehow a sad look, as though it was deprived of happiness. I chanted my prayers and held on tight to my pillow, trying to remove my gaze from the figure, and then it disappeared. I was unable to sleep after that and did not dare to leave my space on the bed until I saw some daylight. The next morning, when my mom-in-law and sister-in-law woke up, I told them what happened. Mom-in-law asked me not to tell anyone as it will frighten the kids. My father-in-law told us that he was taking his morning walk around the area. He came across a Muslim cemetery just behind the chalet. That explains the haunting, I guess. Maybe the spirit I saw was from the cemetery after all. Before leaving Mersing, I approached the old lady that I saw the night before. She was really old. I stopped her as she was walking down the pathway to the hotel lobby. I asked her, I said, "Sorry to disturb you. I wanted to know why you shook your head when I came out of that room number 13? The old auntie was a little reluctant at first, and upon my persuasion, she told a story beyond the graves, which was eerie and unbelievable. The place we stayed in was to be one of the most favorable places to stay in the 80s on Valentine's Day. 1985, there was this couple who booked into the number 13. The couple did not look very happy. There were loud screams and exchange of harsh words heard from the room from the time the couple checked in. The old lady who was the cleaner, it turns out, overheard the conversation between the couples. The girl was pregnant, and the man refused to marry her as he was already married. Later that night, he left her alone in the room and drove away. The girl ran after him, trying to catch up with him, and she ended up in the cemetery. The lady heard some screams from the cemetery, and some of the workers from the area ran to the girl's aid. She was gasping for breath. The workers carried her to room number 13 while waiting for the ambulance to arrive. She was bleeding from the waist down. The baby she was carrying passed away in her tummy, and she bled to death. She died before the ambulance arrived. The boy never returned to claim her body. His identity was not ever known to anyone, as he registered himself with a fake identity. The police came to take reports, and her body was left at Mercing Hospital for days. Her case was said to be closed file. She was said to have died of bleeding profusely due to a miscarriage, a natural cause of death. The police were unable to link her death to her boyfriend. She was told to be an orphan and ran away from the orphanage, who refused to do her last rites. Therefore, the villagers decided to bury her at the cemetery. Since that day onwards, there were some people who have seen her spirit roaming around carrying a baby, especially at 3 a.m, crying, in room number 13. Room number 13 was never rented out since that incident. The workers purified the place with holy water and brought a ustaz, which is a holy man, from the mosque to bless the place. But still, there were disturbances in the chalet. The old auntie added that sometimes when a pregnant woman is around the cemetery, she is vulnerable to the evil spirit, and the girl must have been stricken by the evil spirit. Her own version of the story, I guess, olden days believe, is what the OP says. She said that we were offered room number 13 that night because we looked really desperate for any place to stay. That is why she stood outside to make sure we never took that room. I was shocked to hear that story. I related that story to the adults. Some believed, some did not, but I totally believed the truth in it because I saw the figure of the girl and the unborn child that night. We left Mersing that morning for Kluang. I will never ever forget that experience in Mersing. May that poor girl's soul rest in peace. God bless her soul and her unborn child.
All right. Damn. All right.
Sorry, it's a bit heavy.
No, yeah, it is, but just the casual. Yeah, I saw this thing flying around my room with its hands folded with a. Yeah. It's like, oh, but I have the third eye. I was like, oh, well, that explains it. It's fine. Mm-hmm. I get it. No, that's crazy though. What country did you say this was from again?
Malaysia.
Okay, that's cool. I like hearing reports from different countries.
Me too.
It's really interesting. Okay, yeah. Wow. All right. I don't really have much I can add to that. It was a bit heavy, and it was very matter of fact. It's like, this is probably what happened. This is the story, you know.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, I guess.
Happy Valentine's Day, I guess.
Yeah.
My hair clip just broke.
Oh no.
Oh no. What's your phone percentage at?
43.
Can I have that charger?
Yeah.
Thanks. Can I have my charger?
No. B, do you have anything to add about the story? Not the hair clip.
No. It was a really good story. It was just very sad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Last recording of the night, it had to be
apologize.
sad.
No.
It's okay. That's why B's here.
Yes.
I'm sure B can.
That's what my job is for.
I'm sure B can save the ending to this Valentine's Day weekend.
However, I do have photos to share with you.
That is correct.
Yes,
there
please.
are photos. Yes.
I was gonna say it ain't my turn yet.
Before B saves the day, let's get these photos going.
So my photos today are of a villa in Mersing. I looked up chalets, and those only had between 1 and 3 bedrooms, so having a room number 13 didn't really make sense.
Okay.
And according to OP, this was a so-called chalet. So here's an example of what the rooms could have looked like, etc. If you open that, take a look. Believe the one I shared was very yellow. Mm-hmm. Very white. Very...
Okay, sure.
Just to kind of put you in the place of what it could have looked like. Because, you know, hotels look different in America than other countries, obviously. And I'm not sure which exact chalet they were staying in.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
I figure we can share the outside of it and maybe like 2 more photos from like the lobby and stuff.
I can absolutely do that, yeah.
Okay. I sent them a link on booking.com because...
Yeah.
Yeah. I sent them that link because I had trouble saving the photos to my phone, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
Yeah, all right. I will get on that then.
Hell yeah.
Making that accessible for the thing. But yeah, it was a good story. Like I said, just sad. All right, well, B,
Okay.
you're up next.
Well, I have a comment from a thread in the r/ask Reddit subreddit.
Sure.
Question says, serious. Reddit, what's your love story?
Oh, this will be good.
Mm-hmm. OP continues to say, early MySpace days. He moves to my extremely tiny town to live with his father for a while and save money. Searches for people to hang out with. Of all the people he messaged, 20 plus, I was the only one to message back. He was cute. Why not? We message back and forth, finally meet. Super cute. He thinks I'm cute too. We continue to hang out, and he asked me to be his girlfriend a month or so down the road. I'm super unsure. I had bad previous relationships. However, I go with it. I like him. He likes me. Isn't that how it's supposed to work? It's cool for a while, but I've got insecurities, issues. I bristle when his friends come over. I get annoyed at stupid things, instigate fights. I don't understand how to communicate, nor do I really understand what's going on in my own mind. He tries his best to keep up with me and keep me happy. He really does, but for some reason I was just never satisfied. Finally, I sort of realized that I'm on some sort of self-destructive path, and it does not include him. So I break up with him. I crush his heart, but I knew it was for the best. I didn't want to bring this guy down with me. Over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, I make mistake after mistake, trusting wrong person after wrong person. Most mistakes I make out unscathed, some leave scars. All the while, MySpace guy would randomly get in contact with me here and there. Everything was friendly, cordial, comfortable. My life was at a constant whirlwind of stress and chaos, and when we go to lunch or just for a drink, it slowed down and I could breathe. But that's what friends do, right? He was a friend. 4 years since the first meetup, I found myself single and back at my parents'. I was starting from scratch. I had grown up the hard way. I learned how loyal I could be. I also learned humility. I called MySpace guy one day out of the blue to hang out. He's in town the next day, a long drive, and I finally take notice of how far he goes out of his way. Not really just for me, but for all of his friends. Super genuine. We began to see each other regularly again. I did not say that right. We began to see each other regularly again.
There you go.
Once a week, now twice. I find myself trudging through the work weeks to make it to the weekend when I can see him. 5 months into the year, he slams on the brakes. He asks me to be his girlfriend. I balk. I don't answer. Old feelings are coming back and they are petrifying. Now he's giving me an ultimatum, and I understand why. He can't continue seeing me if I'm going to string him along again. He doesn't want a broken heart again. I don't answer. He takes that as a no and leaves. That day, I wrestle with thoughts, emotions, etc. I sit by myself and contemplate on the future. I'm anxious, having anxiety attacks, looking at my phone every half a minute to see if he's contacted me. He hasn't. My chest is trying to figure out what to do. Then suddenly, like a gunshot, the thought rips through my conscious mind. I'm more scared to lose him than I am to be his girlfriend. Literally made my breath catch in my throat. Suddenly felt at peace and so much more calm than I had been before I knew what I had to do. I grabbed the phone, called him, and left a message for when he got out of work. When he got out of work, he called me, told me to come over. It was a long drive, but he was worth it. That was May 27th, 2011. Fast forward to May 27th, 2016, and we set our vows. I've never felt this level of comfort and excitement all wrapped into one. He is my other half, and I thank my lucky stars every day that he forgave my young and dumb self and got to see me after I had hit rock bottom and climbed my way back up and became someone who I was proud of being. TLDR, met in 2007, and I was a selfish, spoiled brat dealing with issues. Met back up in 2011 after I figured out how to be a decent human and started dating again. We're married 5 years later.
That's so cute.
That's nice. I
They
like
did
that.
the same thing we did. They got married on their dating anniversary.
Oh, okay. I was like, did they?
No, we moved in. I moved in with you after 2 weeks, and we got married like
Yeah, we
3 years later. So
we're basically lesbians.
yeah, I make that joke a lot.
I'm gonna send this picture.
Sure.
I'm not gonna say anything, and I just want y'all to tell me who this is.
Your mama.
Nope.
Let's see. That's
It's Mark Zuckerberg.
no, it is
that's
not.
Tom from
It's
MySpace.
Tom from MySpace.
Jesus Christ.
Context clues, honey.
Zuckerberg.
Mike Zuckerberg?
Mark. It was the way I said Mark.
No, I said Mike, so I was repeating myself.
Well, whoops.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Nah,
Social
nah.
media guys, okay?
That's MySpace Tom.
They're both,
That's
you know,
Tom
white
from
guys that made
MySpace.
social media. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Is Tom a good guy? Do we know?
I don't know. He sold MySpace and has basically been a low-key low-key rich guy ever since. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And he's not trying to take over
Don't know.
the country?
No idea.
At least not publicly.
Not publicly. Okay. All right. If you know, tell us in the comments.
Yeah, if you know what Tom from MySpace is doing
What's
nowadays,
he's up to these days?
I'm very interested.
Tom, what are you
actually.
doing? Hit me up. Send
You
me
can
a DM.
also comment any Mike Zuckerberg hate.
Mike
Mike
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
That was the joke.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, all right. You guys don't understand me. I'm so misunderstood.
You're so misunderstood.
All I can think about is that Game Grumps clip.
Mark Zuckerberg. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Fucking love Game Grumps.
Me too.
That's my favorite Game Grumps. Game Grumps.
Game Grumps.
clip.
Game Gumps.
Yeah, Game Grumps. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg with the fucking
Okay.
Facebook movie.
Mind if I go into
Yeah, go for it.
social media?
Go
Speaking
for
of
it.
social media, we are not on MySpace, unfortunately.
Is anybody anymore?
But
Me.
yeah, actually.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
It's a legitimate website
It's
still.
still around?
I'm
yeah,
still on
I don't think
MySpace.
it's as cool as it used to be. Though,
No,
is
it's
it?
not. It's
like
fucking boring
low-key
and
coding.
beige.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so lame.
It's not the fun MySpace it used
We
to be.
should revamp MySpace.
Yeah,
They've
we
tried.
should do that. Sure.
People are so boring. I don't mean we as in us three. I mean like as a collective, society should get back on MySpace and make it cool again.
Mm-hmm.
Make MySpace great again. Anyway,
Oh my god.
so
Jesus Christ.
The hat's
social
gonna be blue,
media.
right?
Yeah,
The original MySpace blue.
yeah,
Please.
absolutely, duh. Anyway, so you can find us not on MySpace but on Facebook, Blue Sky, not Twitter because
Fuck Twitter.
You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and then of course you can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts, which you probably know because you're already
'Cause you do,
because
yeah.
you're listening. Yeah, be sure to give us a review or a nice rating, or I guess an honest rating. I'm not
Honest would be
honest,
nice.
honest rating.
Preferably honest.
Yeah, hopefully it's nice. Hopefully you don't hate us. They're damn liberals talking about Mike Zuckerberg.
They use pronouns and now I can't get an erection.
The liberals gave me limp dick.
Okay. Anyway, if you have any encounters you'd like to share with us, be it paranormal or wholesome slash
Wholesome, yeah. Wholesome. Give me your wholesome story.
We're not talking right tonight.
It's bedtime.
It's like 10 o'clock
funny
at night. We're fine.
stories. You can email us at TPIBOTE@outlook.com. That's TPIBOTE @outlook.com. Oh God. If it's a paranormal encounter, please put my name in the subject line. No H. That's DALIA. If it is a wholesome or funty
Funty is fun and cunty.
funny tale. You know what? Funty is fine. Funty works great. Send your
Send your funty stories to
to
us.
B. Yes, that is BEE.
The
like
harder
the
you make me
in-
laugh, the more likely it is to pop up on the podcast.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you off.
Be the insect, not the bug. Because bees are not bugs. You were supposed to say that. Anyway,
Sorry.
It's okay.
But shrimps is bugs.
Shrimps is bugs. You're right. Also, please remember, if you want to bring me a drink, I prefer my ice crushed. Anyway.
What? Oh, yeah.
Fuck ice.
No, yeah, you're right. Fuck
Okay.
ice.
Anyway,
I was just
I
really
guess
confused.
that's it. Who wants to send us off?
No, you haven't done it all day. You're
That's
doing
a
it.
lie.
That is true.
No, it's not.
Anyway, guys, catch you on the flip side. This podcast was based on true events.